Do you happen to know what the word gleaning means?
Yes.
What does it mean to you?
Gleaning is when you go after something has been supposedly completely picked or gathered, and you pick up what is essentially the scraps and leftovers.
Cool. Would you ever do that personally?
I do.
You do that?
I do.
In what ways?
I used to at the plant nursery I worked at. After storms, you pick up the trimmings and plant them.
Cool. And is that local?
No, down south.
Down south where?
Palm Beach Gardens.
Okay, thank you. Hi, Honor. So, do you know what gleaning is?
I do not. I believe it has something to do with farming.
Yeah. Okay. So
I know.
So people collect produce that the farmers.
Oh, I know what that is.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it's like the leftover stuff.
Yeah. So would you be willing to glean?
Yes, I would. I've done it before.
Have you? Where?
I did it in Apopka.
Cool.
Yes.
Would you consider dumpster diving gleaning?
Would I consider doing dumpster diving, or would I consider it gleaning?
Would you consider it gleaning?
Word?
Would you consider it gleaning?
I would consider it gleaning. I would not do it myself.
Why?
Because I am not that coordinated. I do not want to get it in a dumpster and then get out of a dumpster.
But it's the same thing, isn't it?
Getting in and out of a dumpster?
Well, gleaning from...
Oh, yeah, absolutely, but I just don't think I can do that. I would rather get on a ladder and pick some oranges.
Okay, thank you. Hi, Logan. So, do you know what gleaning is?
Yes.
Can you explain it to me?
It's when farmers allow people to come through and pick up either unripened or fruit that they can't really sell. That may not be big enough or the right color, and so they allow people to come through, and then it can be picked up by random volunteers and given out to people who may need it.
Okay, have you ever done this before?
I actually have. I got to glean potatoes about 3 years ago.
And where was that?
It was in South Florida.
Okay. Do you know where, by any chance?
I can't remember the exact name of the place.
Okay, so you're in favor of gleaning?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, so do you know what gleaning is?
No.
No? Okay, so gleaning is when farmers have leftover crops that they don't use because they can't sell them to supermarkets, because supermarkets have specific, like they can't have bruises on them, and they need specific sizes and shapes. So what people do is they go to the farms and they pick up the produce that the farmers leave behind. Would you ever be willing to do that?
Like to eat for us?
Yeah.
Yeah, depending how bruised it is. But
Right.
Yeah.
Or misshapen. Cool. And you guys have never done that before? Never heard of it?
No.
Don't know anywhere around here that you can do that? Or
No.
Okay, thank you, I appreciate it. Would you consider dumpster diving gleaning?
Not at all.
No. Yeah. No, wait, no.
No? Ew?
No.
Ew? Well, if you saw like an apple from a tree that had fallen around here, would you eat it?
No.
No? Like if you were walking and you saw your neighbors had oranges, would you eat them?
If it was in my backyard.
No, like around, like Stetson. Yeah, like if you consider it trash. No?
No.
Okay. Alright, thank you. Hi Amber, so do you know what gleaning is?
I do.
Can you explain it to me?
Gleaning is when you, for example, in a farm, go and take anything that's left over or isn't going to be used and take it for yourself. So, should I give an example?
Yeah, please.
Okay. So for my freshman Bonner trip last year, we went to Apopka and we went to a farm there, and it was a farm that had migrant farm workers, but the grocery stores had gone through and taken all of the perfectly beautiful, ripe, purple eggplants, and they had hundreds more eggplants that were just as ripe and delicious, but they were slightly off-colored and more of a pink. So we went through and we gleaned them for second harvest.
Cool. Would you ever consider doing that as a means of groceries for you?
Absolutely.
You would. Why are you doing that now?
No, because I don't live anywhere near farms.
Okay, cool. Would you consider dumpster diving gleaning?
I think it depends on what you're dumpster diving for. If you're dumpster diving for food, I would say no. But if you're dumpster diving for furniture or housewares, or
why not
like
food?
Just because it's not safe. Food that's been in the garbage is subject to maggots and different bacteria that aren't safe for you to eat.
So that's why you personally wouldn't do it, or that's why you don't consider it gleaning?
I think it's probably considered gleaning, but I wouldn't do it.
All right, thank you. I appreciate it. Hi. Hi. All right, so do you know what gleaning is?
No, not in the terms that I'm thinking you might be using it in.
Okay.
I know that it's for like gleaning information.
Okay, cool. So gleaning is like when farmers have produce, let's say like an eggplant, and they produce eggplants, and the supermarkets, they only have like specific colors and sizes that they like buy of eggplants. So what happens is the farmers leave them to rot. And people go and they pick these eggplants, and that's what gleaning is.
Okay.
People going and picking things that other people wouldn't necessarily want, like the supermarkets or the farmers. Right. So would you ever consider doing something like that?
If I was really hungry and had no money and was poor or homeless, yes.
Yeah.
I would.
Would you consider, I mean, as a college student, you're, not the most financially stable. I don't know your situation.
I'm not financially
Okay. So would you ever consider dumpster diving gleaning?
Would I consider that a form of gleaning?
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Would you ever consider dumpster diving?
I took a broken mirror once out of one of the trash cans because it only had one crack and it was like a nice wall mirror, and I took it because I'm too poor to afford a mirror.
Would you ever consider food?
No.
No. Why not?
Not out of a dumpster.
Why not?
Just because of sanitation reasons. Like, I would want to get sick.
Okay. All right. Cool. Thank you so much. Hi.
Hello.
Okay. So, do you know what gleaning is?
Yes.
You do. Can you tell me what it is?
It's when people go through things that are like trash or something and try and find things that they can use out of the trash that other people see as not something they want, but they can see as something useful.
Would you ever glean?
No.
Why not?
I'm just not a big fan of digging through trash or like other people's things that they don't want.
So it's like a sanitary thing?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Would you consider dumpster diving gleaning?
To an extent, because it depends on where, because some people actually throw things out because they're completely broken, and other people throw things out just because they don't need it anymore. So like in lower class neighborhoods it would probably be more trash,
right?
Whereas in the higher class neighborhoods it's just things they don't want anymore.
Okay. So you think that's a good form of gleaning? Gleaning in a higher class neighborhood?
Sure.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate it.
No problem.
Hi, Alina. So, do you know what gleaning is?
No.
Alright, gleaning is when farmers leave behind produce that the grocery stores won't buy from them. So, let's say an eggplant is kind of pink instead of purple, they won't buy it. And so what people do is they go out to the farms and they pick the produce that the farmers won't eat and the supermarkets won't buy, instead of it spoiling and having like food waste. Would you ever consider gleaning?
I'm really confused on what gleaning is. So you get produce that is not ripe yet?
It's not that it's not ripe, it's just not to the standards of the supermarkets.
And the supermarkets don't want to buy it?
Right.
So the farmers go and get it?
Right, so the farmers don't need it. So usually it spoils. So would you, right, so instead of having the food waste, would you consider going out and picking it?
Yes.
You would? Okay. Can you state your name for the camera?
Purni.
Okay, Purni, do you know what gleaning is?
Gleaning?
Gleaning, yeah. Okay, so gleaning is when people go out to farmers' fields and pick up the leftover crops that they had left to spoil there. So at supermarkets they have a specific requirement for size, if they're bruised they won't take them. So the farmers, what they do is they just leave them there, and people often go out and pick up the leftover or misshapen, whether it's potatoes or tomatoes, oranges, whatever. So would you ever be willing to glean? Would you ever personally go to a farm and pick up the leftover produce?
No.
Why not?
Probably because there aren't any farms that I know of where I could go do this, and what would I do with it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
much rather go and buy it.
Okay. Out of ease or out of comfort?
Out of ease, comfort, and familiarity.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Would you consider dumpster diving gleaning?
So like going through dumpsters to pick
And
up?
getting food
No.
from supermarkets?
Yeah.
What are your perspectives on that?
I mean, I think if you can afford it, then you should do it
Mhm.
in the way where someone can profit out of it
Mhm.
instead of having to go through.
So it's an ethical thing.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, cool. Thank you. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
This is Julie Martin. I'm going to ask her about gleaning. Julie, do you know what gleaning is?
Yes, I do. Gleaning is when migrant farm workers go into the fields and pick fruit, something like oranges, and eat it for their personal health.
Okay, cool. Have you ever done this?
Yes, I have done it, not for myself, but I've done it for a service project.
Okay, cool. Would you ever do it?
I would if I came to that situation and I needed to, yes.
So do you only consider it for poor people?
Not necessarily just poor people, but depending on your situation.
All right, thank you. Thank you.